Hi, this is Mavi, and I have a very simple Infusionsoft tutorial for you. Today we are going to learn how to build a campaign that you can use as a template. It's going to be our simple opt-in funnel campaign. Very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new campaign. If you don't know how to do that, please go back to the Infusionsoft basic training and learn a little bit about Campaign Builder. This is for someone who's not beginner, but it's not too advanced that someone could get into and start and create, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and name this first. Always, always name your funnel. So this is gonna be a simple opt-in. And then we are going to put this into a funnel template category, all right? And the reason why I do that is because I wanna make sure that everything is organized, and I know that templates are things that I do not edit or customize at the template level. Once it's created, I may tweak it, but if I'm ready to go live, I'm always going to make a copy, and I'll show you how to do that at the end. Click save and we'll get started. Look at this. We have a beautiful blank canvas, and now we got to put some stuff on it. Before we add in all of the intricate pieces, I'm going to show you the very basic structure that I'd love for everybody to have at a minimum for every single opt-in or lead magnet that you have. So we're going to start with a goal that's going to trigger and kick everything off here. And that goal for me is going to be a web form submitted goal. You should be getting an honest opt-in for every list that you have. You may trigger this some other way depending on an integration, for example, but you want to make sure that all these are labeled. So if you are using an integration like ClickFunnels or Lead Pages, you want to use the web form submitted goal, and you want to specifically name this, all right? So we're going to call it lead magnet name opt-in. And the reason you're going to do that is because the integrations are going to look for a list name. And some of you may want to look for a tag. What you're actually going to look for is this web form, the actual named and published web form. And I can show you the integrations on a different video, but for now, let's go ahead and create the template. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag over a sequence. We're going to name this sequence. Again, the lead magnet name, and this is going to be the tag and delivery sequence. All right, we got the tag and delivery sequence. We're going to connect the two. So connecting is super easy. You're just going to hover over your goal, wait until you see that little green arrow, drag it over till you see the nice, beautiful green highlight, let go. And you'll know it's connected when you see this complete arrow, okay? It's complete. It goes, has a start and has a stop, and it goes all the way through. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring over another sequence. And this is the sequence that most brand new Infusionsofters are missing, okay? And hopefully by now you have the understanding of a funnel and that you need to have some kind of sales offer after someone opts in. This is going to be a Tripwire sales sequence. I like to use brackets for anything that needs to be customized. You can use whatever system you like, but this is what I do. And this is going to be a sales series. I always name sales series like they are, so I know that this is selling stuff and this is delivering. And I keep these two separate just in case I want to drop someone in one of these two. All right, I could drop someone into a Tripwire sales series with a tag or manually that I don't want to deliver something they haven't asked for, or I can just deliver or just start here without having them opt in here. So we are almost ready to go with the very basic. I want to pause for a moment, and I want to tell you what a Tripwire is in case you don't know. And if you know this already, go ahead and zoom forward to where I'm starting to build again. So our timeout is going to be about the Tripwire. The Tripwire is going to be a product that you can offer that is easy to consume, has a lot of value, so it's super meaty, but the price is a no-brainer, low-dollar price. It should be so worth it that if they learn one teeny tiny thing, they're so glad they gave you that money. And a good reference is to use something that costs about as much as like a fancy coffee, all right? So maybe less than $10, but you can go higher if your core offer, your main product or service, is more expensive. I do know people who have a $50 or $100 Tripwire offer because their core offer is in the thousands of dollars. So it's kind of up to you, but keep in mind you want to make it a no-brainer price. All right, let's go back to building. Because this is a sales series, we want to make sure that we have a way to stop selling whatever our Tripwire is if they buy, and that's going to be with a stop goal, okay? All of the goals can trigger and all of the goals can stop. How you know what it does is where it's placed in the campaign. All right, so just a quick review. If a goal is at the front, if it's on the left side connected to a sequence, it's going to trigger. If it's on the right side and it comes at the end or after a sequence, it's going to be a stop goal. Now, this goal right here, you're going to see in a little bit, is actually going to be doing both jobs. All right, let's go ahead and let's customize these a teeny tiny bit. First thing we're going to do is we are going to take this little icon, the little flag, and we're going to say we want this sequence to run until completed. All right, many of you may not know that this is an option. Some of your sequences need to happen no matter what, and some of the sequences have to stop. Okay, all the things that happen here, all of the processes and tags and emails happen no matter what. And all of the sales here are conditional. They're only going to happen until someone buys. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. We're going to jump into the tag and delivery for the lead magnet. There are a couple of important things that need to be in here, but it doesn't have to be complicated. They're simple, but important. And I really encourage you to ask yourself, is this necessary? Is it simple and important? Yes? Okay, move forward. All right, we're going to come down to the processes down here, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a tag. And the reason why we're going to add a tag is because tags can trigger, and they can also be a very quick search identifier. All right, we don't need a lot of tags, but we do need some. One of those tags is to let us know that they have downloaded a specific lead magnet. All right, we may want to only find people who picked this lead magnet and opted in, and we want to sometimes exclude those people. So this is going to be the lead magnet name tag. And if you haven't created that already, no worries. You could put your resource guide, recourse. So maybe you have a recourse guide. If you have a resource guide or a checklist, you can actually create the lead magnet there, or the tag, lead magnet name tag. All right. There's another tag that I'm going to add here, and it is going to be the Start Welcome Series trigger tag. Now, make sure you watch the video about the welcome sequence so that you know how important that is, and you're going to want to make sure that you have that trigger tag every time someone new comes into your system. So if you don't know what that is yet, make sure you watch the next video because I'm going to teach you all about that. And that's it as far as the tags go. I only have those two tags right off the bat. And then I'm going to send them whatever they opted in for, all right? So this is going to be the lead magnet delivery. All right, the email is going to deliver the lead magnet. At a minimum, the lead magnet delivery email should give the asset. It should have a little bit of a consumption snippet, so remind them what they opted in for, and then it should tell them what's going to happen next. Those are minimum things that your lead magnet delivery email should always have. And if you need help with the copy, of course, Sandy is here to help anybody who needs copy. She's really amazing at creating fabulous lead magnets and emails. Now, that's all that I would have in this sequence. It's really simple, isn't it? I may want to add a little note. So here's something cool that you can do. Notes are awesome because the only people who see them are people that are in the campaign. So again, if you have somebody who is building this that's not you, someone else is going to fill this out, you can leave instructions. What I like to do is I like to write what tags are inside the tag process. So this is going to say tags, and it's going to be LM for lead magnet name and start welcome. If I were to come into your Infusionsoft and I saw this, I would know exactly what that meant. You may have to be more specific, or you may have to have a little training session. Of course, you can show this video to anybody on your team. And the cool thing about this is that you can use a little bit of HTML coding to make it fancy. The most practical way you would use this is to include a link for a video training, or maybe an attachment that might have the lead magnet delivery email content in it. So you can definitely create a link there if you want. This one is ready to go. The next thing we're going to want to do is we are going to want to set up this sales series. This is going to have a little bit more in it. What I want to show you first is that we want to choose a timer. All right, I'm going to use a delay timer because I don't need it to be done by a certain day. I want this to be ready to go and be automatic no matter what. And I always put the timer in the sales sequences. You can put it at the end of the previous sequence, or you can put it at the beginning of this one. I don't like to have to do math every single time. So I always choose a place where my first timer is going to live. And I'm going to set this to be the day after. All right, I'm going to wait one day, any day, and I encourage you to choose a time that this might go out. All right, so for me, I may run my sales emails in the afternoon and my content emails in the morning. This way, I know that I'm not sending 2 emails at the same exact time every single day that might be in competition with each other. That's a pro tip for you because you may be competing with yourself or your audience's pay for their attention. And then I would use their time zone, so you're not sending one in the morning to someone who's in another country. And then you're going to hit save. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring over an email and we're going to create a pattern. This email is going to be a sales email, and it's going to be sales email number 1. And we're going to have a minimum of 3 emails in here. All right, so how I'm going to create this really quickly is I'm just going to drag a rectangle. So I'm just going to click on the screen, drag it until both of these are selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit duplicate. And now I'm going to connect these. And this may be sales email 2. It could be a checking in email. It's up to you. A lot of people will do sales, content, last chance. It's totally up to you what you want it to say, and you can also extend the timers. We're doing a low dollar offer, so it's totally fine to hit them with 3 emails in a row, 1 day apart. And then again, we're going to copy this. I want you to notice that there is no connection between these 2 items in the sequence. We actually have to manually connect those. If we wanted to, we could bring over another process and it'll just be connected at the very end. And if you want to see, I can move this over. Right click and drag side to side to move the entire screen over. And this is actually connected here. There is one thing that I forgot to add, and it's intentional because I want to show you what happens if you ever forget something and you need to add it in after the fact. So there is something missing here, and that is going to be a tag. And that tag belongs here or here. And this is what sometimes happens. I'll see people come in and they're able to highlight that little arrow, zoom it in, and yes, this is connected properly. But sometimes this is what happens. You see how the arrows are funny here? This is actually connected at the end again. All right, so you just want to be extra careful. I wanted to show that to you just because I've seen enough. The safest way to add in something is to click on the existing arrow, delete it, and then bring this in. Now, if you are adding to an existing funnel, make sure you do not, if you are adding to an existing campaign or funnel that's in place, do not change the timers if people are on there. I have seen sequences shoot off everything because that happens, all right? You don't want to do that. It's better to duplicate the sequence and make any corrections you need so that future people can come in. All right, let me show you what these tags are. So let's just get the flow. We're gonna have them start, they're gonna get a tag, then it's gonna be timer, email, timer, email, timer, email, and then we're gonna remove the first tag. So this is gonna be sales email 3, and it's probably gonna be a last chance email. All right, let's get into the tags. The tags that you need right here are going to be a sales series. So we wanna know that people are in a sales sequence or sales series. Reason why we wanna know that is because if we ever wanna send a broadcast, which is just like an email blast to everyone, we don't wanna send them to people who are getting a different offer. Again, your emails cannot be in competition with each other, all right? So identifying people that are in a sales sequence is gonna help you eliminate that. And then after they're finished, we're gonna go ahead and remove that tag. Some people like to keep the tag in place for a couple of days so that they're not open to coming into a new sequence right away. That's totally up to you, and you can do what you know is best for your list. And then we're done with this sequence. Isn't it awesome? It's just a very simple sales email. So you're gonna have 3 emails to write, and you're gonna wanna remember to use the in sales sequence tag. Create the tag if you haven't done so already. And then we're going to configure the product. It's going to be the Tripwire name product. And something that you should know is that not everybody has e-commerce in their Infusionsoft, and that's okay. What you need to know is, how does your shopping cart or your checkout or order form system, how does it connect? So I know Thrivecart is something that people like to use. It's awesome, you know, so is Samcart. And I believe that those will integrate with the tag. So you can replace this purchase goal with a tag. You just need to make sure you know exactly how your integration works, all right? Okay, we're almost done. There's another step that we need to take care of, and that's going to be post-Tripwire purchase. If they purchase that Tripwire, we are going to make an offer again on that thank you page for your core offer. That is going to be your main product or service. All right, we want to sell that to people right off the bat. And this is going to allow you to automate. All right, and you can choose the delay, but you don't want to have to think, oh yeah, I need to remember everybody who purchased my Tripwire should also get an offer for my core offer. We're going to let that be automated with this template. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to copy all of this. All of these are going to be duplicated because everything is essentially the same. Some of you guys may like to stack like a ladder, and some of you may like to make one big long line. It's kind of up to you, but you can move again with right-clicking. And then we're going to make sure that we connect. And then what we need to do here is anywhere that it says Tripwire or lead magnet name, we're going to change it to Tripwire name. All right, and then this is going to be the core offer sales series, and this is going to be the core offer product purchase. And you may have heard my little pup bark in the background. That's the beauty of Infusionsofting. I get to work from home and spend time with my dogs and my kid, and that's why I like to have the automation in the first place. I like to have this running, and knowing that I can make money in my sleep, whether I'm playing with my dogs, going to a school function, or just having time in vacation. You know, if you are an entrepreneur and you have a funnel, you want to make sure that you have a good portion of it automated. Now, you may notice that these icons don't look exactly the same. Sometimes when we copy, we just have to wait until we publish for everything to show up exactly how it should be. Now, we do have to change a couple of things here, all right? The first is going to be in the Tripwire delivery sequence. All right, so we aren't going to have these same tags because we need to use, instead of the lead magnet name, we need to have the Tripwire, right? So this is going to be the Tripwire buyer tag. So we're going to delete the magnet tag. And we're also going to delete the trigger tag to start the welcome sequence, right? We don't need that. We don't need that anymore. We don't want them to go through that sequence again. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we only have this one tag here. And then again, we're going to deliver the tripwire. All right, we're going to deliver the tripwire. Delete that. We have one more thing to add in here, and that is going to be the set field value process. And we're going to set the field value of the person type to customer. Let me show you how to do that. Double click inside. Many of you don't have this in place. I would encourage you to do this, and you can run a global trigger that anytime anybody buys any product, they're going to be turned into a customer. But depending on your integration and the type of Infusionsoft you have, you may not have that option. So I like to do it at the product level. And I want to change the person type, and one of your defaults is customer. Now, if you have a difference between a customer or a Tripwire customer and a client that is someone who's ongoing and giving you more money, you can definitely create those, but you need to create them outside of the campaign builder. And this is actually ready to go, except we need to remove the in sales sequence, all right? Because once they buy, they're no longer going to be in the sales sequence. And we want to make sure that we click the correct remove. All right, so if you make that mistake, double check. It's okay, we can move forward. And that's what the sequence would look like. Now, if you know that they're immediately going to go into another sales sequence, you can definitely keep that tag on. However, I'm going to let it be removed here, and I'm going to reapply it in my core offer sales series. All right, let's go ahead and edit this one. So I'm going to actually switch places here. And I'm going to extend the time. Instead of being 1 day, I'm going to set this up for 3 or 4 days, okay? And the reason why I'm going to do that is I want to give people a little breather before they get this next sales series. It's totally up to you. You can sell it 1 day after. It's up to you. You can choose the spacing of your emails here. You may need more emails. So you may need to add in an email that is like a join me in congratulating somebody. If you have a real all-star for one of your programs, you may need to add them into a social proof type or a case study. Something like that can help. This is something that you're going to test, but this is a basic. And then you're going to need to deliver the core offer. So again, we are going to duplicate this. And you bet you know exactly what's going to happen. So instead of applying the tag here for Tripwire buyer, this is going to be our core offer buyer. And then you're going to have the core offer delivery. You can set the field value to customer if you like, but if they purchase, they're already a customer, so it's kind of up to you. And then you're going to remove the in sales series tag. Now, I want to give you an option for an alternate delivery in the core offer. If you have a membership site, this is what you may have instead. So this is going to be optional. You need to choose one or the other. You wouldn't have both. You're going to have a different start, and you're going to send a post. So if you are using something like Memberium, which is one of my favorite membership plugins for WordPress, you're going to have an HTTP post. And this post URL is going to be your auto login if you have it. If you have an auto login URL, you want to put it there. Otherwise, it's going to be the create new user URL. And then you're going to make sure that you have your paired values set up properly. And most of the plugins will have that documentation ready that we don't need to go into it. And then everything else is going to be very similar. So I'm just going to duplicate for you to save some time. Infusionsoft will please cooperate. There we go. Just be patient while you practice this. All right. There's one other thing that we need, and we need a timer. And the reason why we're going to add a very teeny tiny timer here is because sometimes the membership system, the plugin, and Infusionsoft need a little bit of time to communicate with each other. So what will happen is you want to make sure that you deliver a username and password for people. And if the systems haven't communicated with each other, this delivery email may be missing some information. All right. So I like to put a 5 to 7 minute timer. 7 if you have a slower connection or if they do. And then any day, anytime, and save. So this will run after 7 minutes. Then it will allow everybody to catch up with the information. And you want to make sure that in this delivery email, you're going to give username and password for the membership with an onboarding instruction. All right. You also may need to have a series of onboarding emails and consumption emails. I really recommend having a consumption email at the end of this sequence. This is how you get the most out of my product. And that could be delivered via, social messenger. It can be part of a membership group. It can be part of your email sequence. You need to decide what is the best way to make sure everybody knows how to consume your content. And this is almost ready to be used. The only thing that I want to do is I want to change these purchase goals to be available to any contact. And the reason why I want to do that is because sometimes I sell products outside of these particular funnels. Sometimes I might have several lead magnets that all go into the same Tripwire, and I might have those in several different places. So you want to just make sure that the delivery isn't shut off in multiple places, but if you do offer the product maybe on your website, if someone could find it and buy it a la carte, you want to make sure that it will still stop the sales sequence and it will give the delivery. All right, so this is actually complete. You guys did a great job of being patient, and hopefully you were practicing, pausing, and implementing with me. Practice making this. I would really work on getting the structure, goal, sequence, goal. And when you're ready to customize this, you're going to come over to Actions. You're going to click Make a Copy. Name the copy after your lead magnet name. And then click Save, and a new campaign will show up. All right, it will open for you, and you will be safe in editing. Now, there is something very important that you need to do, and this is a very basic rule of Infusionsoft that I'm going to repeat it just because I have had many people accidentally forget to do this, and they want to know why their campaigns aren't working. And what you need to do is you need to make sure you go into every single gray sequence or goal, and you want to move it from draft to ready. This needs to be done for every single email, every single sequence, okay? You want to make sure you click on anything that isn't green, and you're going to mark them from draft to ready. You're going to go click inside of everything. And what's nice is if you go to publish, Infusionsoft is going to tell you that you have 39 elements not marked as ready, and it's going to even give you all of the elements. All right, so you want to make sure that you mark everything as ready before you publish. And this is because this is our new sequence, you can customize away. So thank you so much for your time. If you need any help in building or getting some extra guidance and hand-holding, or if you just want to give this to someone else to deal with, we are totally available for that. I've been using Infusionsoft for a really long time, and I love it as an automation tool. So make sure you click the help button or follow the links at the end of this video. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time.